Okay. What are you laughing at?
You ready?
I just like to make you wait sometimes.
Can you see my belt up here? Sometimes I look like Ed Grimley.
No, can't see your belt.
I'm say. Okay.
Wow.
Remember
Ed
that?
Grimley. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got I've got one of those dolls around somewhere.
Martin Short.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Still going.
Cameron Stewart. Unbelievable.
Oh,
Cam, I before we go forwards, let's go back. So huge Baylor win against Texas Tech. Okay. I'd wrapped up the game that I was working, and I got in the car and I listened to Locked On. I put Locked On.
the post game.
Yes.
Wow.
And I listened to you and I listened to Mosley.
Yeah.
But it was, first of all, Corey Dickman, our boss, the impresario, he was working Matt Mosley's show. Right, Mike?
Wow.
He did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you want
This is like when the CEO puts on a hard hat at the construction site.
Yeah.
I was running a live show.
Mike was running a live show. So Corey did it.
The Blah Live show.
Pretty cool.
And a couple other ones, right? Life is a Song. Was
Life is
also
a
there.
Song and Silent Witness.
Silent Witness.
Thank you.
Shout out to our network.
Do you know that you can't get that witness to talk?
It's pretty silent.
You're kidding.
So, okay.
I want to be on Life is a Song or something.
Baylor.
Yeah.
They're back.
So back.
I can say that because we head into another game. If they don't win against Oklahoma State, they're favored by 7 points now. Garrett Mangel is out.
Yep.
Their quarterback.
There's no more Gundy kid.
No more Gundy kid. I don't know what the deal is with Zane Flores. It's probably going to be Alan Bowman again.
Yes, baby.
And I will
Nearly
say,
a Baylor Bear.
I watched. What did you say?
Nearly a Baylor Bear.
Yeah.
In fact, they brought him in to come see when he was in the portal before he went to Oklahoma State. So instead, they went and got Sawyer Robertson.
I think it's worked out.
I think it's worked out. Yes.
Drake Toll. He likes to bring up how he tweeted when I guess he was on campus. Alan Bowman. Yeah. Drake tweeted something like, "Why is Alan Bowman here? Like, tell him to go home." Like something like awful. Like, Alan Bowman's such a quarterback.
That's not a bad Drake. He's such a quarterback.
He's such a quarterback. Just like and subscribe.
You have officially entered bad.
No.
Welcome to suck. God, Drake is good.
Not so I don't get fired, so I can pay my rent. Just so I can pay my rent. Like and subscribe.
Yep.
Yeah, I honestly, for doing that Big 12 show that I do, I listen to a lot of Locked On Big 12. I listen to you. The Locked On Cougs guy.
Parker Ainsworth? Or no, you want the BYU guy.
Yeah.
Jake Hatch. Yeah.
Jake Hatch at the end of the Locked On Cougars podcast, which I think he taped after their win Friday. He started to talk about his grandfather and his grandfather not being able to see. Dude, it was I was out for like a run or something. I stopped. It was so authentic and emotional. That's why I asked you who he was. I want to send him a message because not only does he do an amazing job, but it came through like the authenticity.
Hatch.
Yeah. He
Hatch
seems like
one of the best,
great
man.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I obviously don't do this much with Baylor stuff because it's not a family thing for me the same way my other teams are.
Cam, this isn't about you. Right?
No, but I'm saying I think that takes a lot of balls because if I started to do something like that, I would cry. Like
he started
not
to cry.
There's anything bad about that, but
that's my point. He started to cry.
Like that's really tough to do.
He got emotional. He couldn't talk. And I will say too, and this is props to the BYU, Cougar Nation, whatever they want to call themselves. That goes deep, dude. Yeah. It's kind of like the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah.
In a sense. I mean, it's more of generational. It doesn't matter whether you went to school there sometimes.
Well,
right?
That's the thing is it's like, this isn't a bad thing. It's just like, if you are a Mormon growing up, like that's your team.
Yeah.
And I think this is dissipated a little bit with Notre Dame, but I'm sure you saw some of that of like Northeast Irish Catholic.
Oh my gosh.
All Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
It's dipped down a little bit because I just don't think college football is just not big where we come from. But,
well, I think it's dipped
down. But it's still there.
I think it's dipped down because of television options now.
Correct.
The deals now you can watch whoever, whenever you want. BYU, by the way, is a force. They have the whole BYU network. You'll be out there someday,
and it's good.
and it's very good.
Yeah.
And their studios are unbelievable.
Yeah,
I
they
know-
do their coaches show. You know who loves the BYU TV stuff?
Who?
Is Mosley.
Oh,
Because
really?
when he had Satake on our show, on the Mosley show, it's just him interviewing. He was saying, like, he was calling me and he was like, boy, I watch this coach's show he does. And it's like in a studio.
It's amazing.
It's in a live audience. It's like, why can't we do stuff like that? You know, stuff
no,
like that.
it's-
But it is. It's incredible the product they put out. Like Longhorn Network, for example, was the first one. I
Yeah.
think it might be why you might be a little bit older, but was the first one to have that. And like Longhorn Network, it's a cool thing to have, but like it stinks. And like their programming is not that
well, so
great.
it's gone now.
Yeah, and it was just like it was cool that if that was your team that you had that, but it wasn't like a great network. BYU TV is like good.
Yeah.
And they put in a lot of work. Because I remember when they reached out to us about like a food drive they were doing when they came here to Waco, which they do to every community that they go and visit. They had like 3 or 4 things lined up, like feature stories for their pregame show about Baylor. So that's stuff you're turning over every week, right? They were talking with like an acrobatics and tumbling athlete at Baylor, and like it was 3 different Baylor stories. So then they go and do that when they go play whomever, Oklahoma State. I know that was a home game, but if they go to play UCF, they do the same thing. That's a lot of turnover. That's like that's staff. That's a lot of work that they put in. Anyway, I didn't mean this to become a blow sesh for BYU TV.
No,
but it's
BYU's
really good,
they're
man.
awesome. Their fans are awesome. They're vocal.
Yes.
Yeah, they will always be heard. But Jake
They're
Hatch,
clean.
yeah. Well, see, that's another
Language.
misconception. They're not those. This was Fran Fraschilla, and he said this. I heard him say this to, who's our guy? I forget his name. Went from Baylor to Utah. He's now a tight end.
Caleb Lohner.
He said to Caleb Lohner last year, we were all together, and he was like, "Hey, I bet you're excited to go back out to Provo." Anyways, they talked about. Fran was like, "Yeah, like you think they're so nice, like that's the one team that like he was like when I was coaching at New Mexico. I mean, they're the dirtiest team,
Really?
like they give you all the elbows, and they know."
Oh, I meant more of the fans, but okay, yeah, that's
no,
surprising too.
the guys on the court. But then, of course, after the game, good game. They're all like super nice, which you got to respect. They keep it between the lines.
Yep.
So Cam, Baylor football.
Yep.
I want to look this up because I want to make sure I get it right. But after their win, I told you I'm going to go ahead and predict it.
Put it out there, Pete.
Huh?
Put it out there.
No, I am. And I'll tell Mosley today too, because he's like, I think you're a little optimistic. But okay, so let's go through the rest of Baylor's schedule. You ready?
I hope you like a 500 winning percentage.
Okay.
If you look at this schedule.
Okay. So
Or
Oklahoma State at home, McLean Stadium this Saturday. Teddy Emmerich on the call, by the way.
I've interviewed Ted. I should hit him up.
He's the best, right? You should have him on your show. Locked On.
That's not a bad idea, Pete.
Yeah. He's had a long week, remember? He just got home. So
did you see him? Was he there in Charlotte?
We were on the
with you?
same
There
flight.
you
He's
He's probably got too much cram work to do, but I'll try.
But I will tell you, as somebody who does these games from time to time, it's kind of cool when someone like you calls, because it's not like you're taking me in another direction.
Mm-hmm.
I actually almost get to formulate my thoughts and like go, you know what I mean? Like it's almost like a good little test.
Did you talk to him in Charlotte at all? Like,
we've spent a lot of time together.
All right, cool. Because then I'll be like, oh, Pete was telling me you're doing the game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That could have been off the air, but
he's pretty awesome. No, he's the best. All right. So they're going to win Oklahoma State at home.
Could, yeah. Should.
They should. No, I'm good. I'm just going to tell you how it's going to go.
Okay. All right. I'll step out of it.
TCU at home. That's a win. November 2nd. Okay. You're building. I believe that's a game you should win. I'm going to say they're going to win it. West Virginia in Morgantown. That's a loss.
Never won there.
That's a loss.
Baylor's never won there.
Houston at home.
I think it's away.
That's away. It doesn't matter. That could be
that's good.
Zaire, dude. Yeah. They're going to win.
The Zaire poll. Wow.
Kansas at McLean Stadium. Now, Kansas is probably, right now, they're probably the most dangerous team in the conference. And here's what I mean. They have so much talent. They have nothing to lose. And they can play spoiler for like 4 or 5 teams down the stretch. So that's how they're dangerous. They're pesky.
Correct.
And they're dangerous. That is a game that they could lose. but I'll say they'll win. So what are they're 4-1 down the stretch? What's their record now? 3-4?
Wait, you had them at 2 losses. No, sorry, you gave them the Kansas win.
Yeah.
Right.
And dude,
So yes, that would put them at 7-5.
and by the way, West Virginia is starting to kind of suck.
I know.
Garrett Green's out.
Well, see that those two games back to back, TCU West Virginia, right? That's back to back. They play West Virginia before Houston.
Yeah.
Those two, I'm like, oof, because TCU just got to win against Utah.
Yeah.
We know how far Utah has fallen, and I still don't think TCU's that good. In fact, I don't even know if they're as good as Baylor.
Yeah.
But they always lose to TCU. They beat them once in the last decade. And West Virginia, they're probably going to be a better especially if they beat TCU. Like they're a better team than West Virginia at that point.
Well,
They've
look,
never won
Cam,
them. Like I got to take these things into account.
I'll tell you right now,
as much as I wouldn't want to.
They're favored by 7 against Oklahoma State. We said that. At home, they'll be favored against TCU.
Probably, yeah. And if they beat Oklahoma State, that is a big time matchup. That's already a 7:00 kick against TCU. Blackout, black uniforms. 2013 and 14 teams are going to be there. Oh.
So then you got West Virginia. You very well could be favored in that game too.
Correct.
And Houston, you're definitely going to be favored. In Kansas, you're more. They should be favored in every single game they have left on their schedule.
What's if they win this week,
right now?
yes.
3-4?
3-4.
How do you feel about 8-4? How does everybody feel about that? We just went from the Alamo Bowl to what? The Pop-Tart Bowl against an ACC opponent?
Potentially. Is that the one that's in Charlotte?
I think maybe it is this year.
Because the Mayo Bowl's in Charlotte, obviously. Yeah. But Duke's Mayo Bowl. So start telling your kids about the Pop-Tart Bowl eating Baylor Bears.
I know a Big 12 team goes to the Pop-Tart Bowl, and I know they play a team from the ACC. Look, I'm just
going to buy another one of these for a prop for Lockdown Baylor.
Now, here's a question I have for you.
Right there.
Here's a question I have for you. Is this fool's gold for this program?
To go 8-4, you're saying? Yeah. No. I could easily see why people would say that. But no, because what we're saying there is 8-4.
You really ate the Pop-Tart.
What was I going to do? Spit it out?
Disgusting. There's video. I had a girl break up with me once, and that was one of the things she listed in the exit interview.
Because you chew with your mouth full?
You ate a Pop-Tart online?
Or eat with your mouth full, I guess?
Yeah. We escaped that one.
Talk with your mouth full is what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So playing it out, they go 8-4, and you're saying that retains Dave Aranda.
No, this is very hard to go 8-4, but we're having fun.
Anyway, I don't think it's fool's gold because, again, I said this at the beginning of the year, and I said it even when I was calling for his job a few weeks ago. I know there's a good football coach in there. It hadn't come together yet, and we talked all summer about the momentum that they had in recruiting for even this class of 2025 right here, and it's still there. They're still committed. If you can build this thing into an 8-4 at the end of the year, you have serious momentum. You have your starting quarterback for next year. You've got some pieces coming back for next year, and you're bringing in a big-time recruiting class. And, you know, this Big 12 is so transient, really, like, because you couple that with the fact that, like, is Kyle Whittingham going to retire at Utah?
Yeah.
And like, what's happening to that program? What's happening to Oklahoma State's short-term future? TCU might still be looking to fire their coach if this thing continues to go off the rails. Like, there's a lot of other things at play that you would say, you know what, I kind of like this spot with Dave Aranda and Baylor.
What have you picked up? By the way, Tom Crean loves Dave Aranda.
Really?
He asked me about him because he knows I live in Waco. He goes, "How's Aranda doing?" I go, "You know, it's been a tough road to hoe this year, but I feel like things are in place for him to have a strong finish because great guy, great coach."
They have some things in common.
Yeah. Well, I think there's
career-wise.
Yeah. What's that mean?
Like, Tom Crean's a really nice guy, and it didn't end well for him at Georgia. It was a bad stretch at Georgia.
All right. Well,
you know, but when it's all said and done, I mean, he could have coached 2 Hall of Famers in college.
Yeah. Oh, I think 100%.
Which is pretty incredible. If Anthony Edwards continues on with this, like, that's pretty cool.
So take the temperature for us of the Baylor fan base right now?
Oh, cautiously optimistic. I think there are people who, like me,
Oh, you made the best point. I'm jumping in to cut you off.
Go ahead.
You made the best point I've
I'll
heard
allow
anybody make about Baylor all season. You go, folks, like, feel good. You've got a quarterback. That's one of the most difficult things. You look around the Big 12, dude. Rocco Becht is he's a winner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not the best quarterback, but he finds a way to win. Jake Retzloff, same deal. Shador Sanders, right? Even Brendan Sorsby. If you're going to win, you need a good quarterback.
Well, yeah, it didn't used to always be the case in college football.
It is now.
And Baylor got away with it a couple years ago with the Sugar Bowl team. Gary was a fine quarterback. Bohannon is a fine quarterback, but didn't win games for you at quarterback. But yes, you do need that now. You absolutely need that now. And Baylor has not gotten that right the last few years. And you have that. You definitively have that with Sawyer Robertson. He has the most touchdown passes in Big 12 play. He has more than Shador. Like he's been incredible so far. And what he gave you on Saturday was the best quarterback Baylor game statistically in almost a decade. Like that goes without saying. You want to say how bad Tech's defense sucks, whatever. But look at the numbers. Like we haven't seen that from a Baylor quarterback in a conference game in 9 years since Seth Russell left.
Let's go.
Like you have that. You have that.
All right. So, and I'll let you go with this because Mike's starting to hover, which means we got to wrap up soon. Mike is really doing a lot here.
Mike Hamilton.
Hey, everybody. It's Mike Hamilton. He's been taking over on the Wheels of Steel here at the Rogue Media Network. All right. Cam.
Mike had to look at me to figure out where you were.
Cam.
Yes.
Give
Pete.
me. We've talked about the fan base. I guess you answer my question. Then.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same in that, just real quick, it's like, it's not that we're saying, oh, Dave Aranda's fine now, everything's all great, but we saw how close they were in these games, and now they've shown they can actually win it. And so that's all we needed to see to have confidence in the back half of the schedule. I didn't think it was going to come against Tech, but here we are. And that's a reason to be confident. You finally actually seen it happen for 4 quarters.
Yeah. Cam Stewart on the Cam Show tomorrow at 12 Eastern time, 11 Central.
11
Mike,
Central.
Can you do me a favor? Can you put me on Bluetooth real quick? Can you do that?
I can certainly try, Pete. Yeah.
All right. I want to show you.
You want to do this reaction? Oh,
No,
I sent you the clip that I was going to send
I'm
you,
not
by the
doing
way.
that.
We're going to go over another commercial.
This is connection time.
Roadcaster Pro.
Connection time, folks. Connection time.
Mad Dog on the fan.
High in the upper 80s today. Clear skies.
All right, let's see. Okay, we're
A
ready.
little bit of a traffic jam.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Hold on. I'm gonna take us out of here with the song. I'm gonna hit the post too. You ready?
Let's go.
Okay. God damn it.
I said yes.
This is good.
Let's go.
Hold on.
It's good stuff. Mike, can you edit this out?
A lot of things down.
Are you ready?
Downtown here.
All right.
Yeah.
12:32 here in Central Texas. Cam Stewart going to pick it up where I leave off here. He'll take you to the midday hour and rock and roll all night long. I'd like to thank Mike Hamilton stopping by today. Mike will be down at the Extra Cool Event Center later on today, handing out free toasters. All you've got to do is bring a burnt piece of toast, and Mike will hook you up.
Taking the helicopter there now, Pete.
All you need is the button. This was the longest post I could possibly try to hit, but either way, we won't quit. All of a sudden, it's going to be 12:32. It started at 12:31. Remember, have some fun. We'll be back on the other side after this. Baylor football this weekend against Oklahoma State.